Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name's Judy and I am running so-and-so, and I thought I might try one of these clicky videos. So I'm going to click my fingers and next time you see me, I'll be at home all nice and dry. I'm in the sewing room. I had to do that, didn't I? So I went to parkrun this morning, which was utterly amazing. I went to Pontefract Parkrun because my local parkrun was closed because in York we have races on the racecourse this weekend, which meant I had to go and find another parkrun. And my friend Pam lives in Pontefract, and Michael, Hannah and I decided we'd all go over to Pontefract Parkrun and have some fun there today, and it was absolutely amazing, and I managed to shave 12 seconds off my time. And bearing in mind I run where it's flat at the moment, I was really quite chuffed with that. Anyhow, that is detracting from why I'm here. I'm here because it is Sew 7 Together video day today. And I thought I'd talk to you a little bit about getting the fit right. I'm going to come to the free range slacks in a minute. I'm going to start with the Sorvy dress. Now I actually have the Sorvy dress all here on my sewing machine. So here you can see on my sewing table here, yes, I've got a new extension table. I will talk to you all about that on my next Friday sews. But here at the moment, I have cut out my Sorvy dress and I'm ready to go. And this is the lining. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the lining, because this is the back lining piece here. And I decided that, you know, I couldn't get it all out, the dress out of the way the pattern was laid out. And I thought, do you know something? This is the lining. I could just add a seam allowance on to the fold and create a seam up the front, which is what I've done with the lining for the front. So there is just a little seam up here. I've done the darts. The wonderful thing about a Sew House 7 pattern is that you are given extremely clear instructions on how to alter the garment. So here we have page 5 of the Sorvy dress pattern, and you can see at this point here, Peggy is giving you instructions on how to alter the dress. Now, before we go any further, I just want to read to you how Peggy describes the dress. The Sorvy dress is the perfect strappy summer dress to reach for when you want comfort, ease and style in those hot summer months. So it's designed to be looser. It's also perfect for layering over a t-shirt as a pinafore when the temperature's dropped. You could also use the Sorvy for anything from a swim cover-up to a casual summer dress to an elegant evening dress, depending on the fabric you choose. So you need to bear this in mind. So today I'm going to be working on fitting the Sorvy dress as per page 5 of the instructions. So to start with, I'm going to follow what she's asked us to do, and she's suggesting that you use just the top half, and I'm going to use the lining to do that. So I've got the front part already done here, and what I've done is I've got just a Marlowe sweater on, but over the top of a vest top, so it's easy for me to take on and off when I am actually showing you the fit. This is me, folks. You know what I'm like. I like to be honest and practical, and I love to show sewing in my vlogs. So in order to do that, you've got to be practical and you've got to be prepared. It's a vest top. So I've done that. I've done the darts. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to sew my seam on at the centre back. And then I'm actually just going to make the straps ready. So the lining bodice is made up. Now the next thing I need to do is just to baste on across the top here the straps at 10 mils or 3/8 of an inch. Now I have basted together the sides. I will redo the sides with a French seam. I'm gone into being a bit of a French seam guru at the moment. I do like a French seam. Now I'm expecting this because I do actually fit Peggy's block perfectly, And the reason I say Peggy's block is that each pattern cutter, each pattern designer, pattern cutter will have a block that they've made to specific measurements. Now the block is the original template from which your pattern will have been drawn. And I will come to that in a minute when I talk about the free range slacks. So let's have a little look. Actually, this is why I'm wearing a vest top, because it's just a little bit more dignity. So here we go. Checking I've got the right bit on. So here we go. And I would say for a loose fitting, this is fitting me beautifully. It's meant to be loose below the bust line. It's actually fitting me really nicely. Now there will be a little bit of gathering and gaping there. Do not forget this is your toile. And that is a wearable toile. I was very uncertain about this fabric, but now I've got it on, you know. Andrea does know us, doesn't she? She knows us what we like. Fitting me beautifully around the back there. Should I need to, I now have the option to alter the dart, which is just here. And the dart should line up with your nipples. So there is my nipple, and that dart is going to land up on my nipple if taken further in. It's not gaping here, it's nice, it's not too low around my arms, really excuse me, here. And it's fitting me nicely there, it's fitting me nicely here. It's going to be it's going to be 1.5 centimetres further down, so that will be perfect. It's not cutting me too far here, and the other thing is, it covers my bra straps, which is lovely, and obviously a bra will be lower than the vest top that I'm wearing at the moment. So all in all, I'm very happy with that. So let's get on and make a Sorvy dress. I just want to talk to you a little bit about how you could perhaps improve the waistband elastic in the Sew House 7 free range slacks. Now the pair I made last year, I found that the elastic twisted in the waistband and it frustrated me. But at the same time as I made the free range slacks, I also made a pair of Pietra shorts where they actually stitched down the elastic in the channel. So thinking on my feet, I thought, let's do this slightly differently this time. So I have done my elastic as per the instructions, which is as per your waist, so it's comfortable, not too stretched. I have joined my elastic together using the sewing machine. So I'm going to, the other thing I've done is I've done the top stitching that Peggy suggests you do on the top of your waistband. So your waistband is actually a facing that falls over. Your waistband is grown onto the front of the free range slacks, and your waistband piece that you cut out is a facing. So I've done the top stitching at the top there, and to do that I used my edge stitching foot. I will show you that again now. Here is my edge stitching foot. It's the foot with a little, in fact I'll turn it around this way. No, I won't, I'll have it this way. Just remember I'm working upside down. You've got the little guide here in the foot. There it is. That goes up to the edge of the fabric, and it allows you to do your very narrow top stitching, and then you can put your needle over to the left or the right, depending on which side you have your seam. So to put the elastic in now, I found the back. This is the back, and I'm going to put the elastic over the top of the trousers, and I'm looking at the camera trying to work out the best place to have it, because I don't have one of these over the top cameras for sew alongs. And I'm going to slide the elastic inside. I've actually got this right underneath the camera. You could see where I am. And the reason you've got problems is you've got this little bit of seam allowance there that you've still got on it. So I'm going to pop this over. I'm going to put it on the front facing, push it up, and then I will need to use the edge stitching foot to ensure that I don't catch the elastic in the waistband. And what you then need to do is you need to feed your elastic in and try not, when you're pinning it in place here, not to catch the elastic. It is really important that you don't catch that elastic, because you're going to need to move your garment around, and if you've caught the elastic, it won't allow you to feed the garment around as you fit the elastic into the channel. Now I'm going to leave the camera running, and all being well, you will be able to see what I'm doing, and I just hope to goodness that I can keep this in the zone. Let me just, oops, wrong one. What you'll have seen me doing is to pinning these at the point of seams. So I've got another seam here. It's just something to have a little guide. So I'm hooking my elastic underneath here. And these are my wearable toile free range slacks. I have tried them on and they are okay. I am finding this time that the fit is better around my bottom. Just a second. Now I have encased the entire elastic in here, and I'm going to sew it by pulling it as I go. So I'm going to pop the work into the sewing machine. So I'm coming to the end of sewing it down, and I can tell you now, my hands, here are my hands, where are my hands? Down, oh, up here. Sorry, my hands are susceptible to cramping. Years of sewing, folks, just one of those things. I do have quite an arthritic finger as well. Look at this. That is my only bit of arthritis, and I do push it back the wrong way and give it a little bit of a massage to keep it going. Can't possibly have my fingers going on me. But what you have to do when you're doing this is to really pull the elastic, and I'm cramping in my left hand just here, and the joints, this finger wants to cramp over the top of this one. So I'm actually now grabbing with the, what do you call it? The heel of your hand, this bit here, the heel of your hand. I've got the camera so zoomed in, I can't actually see where it is, and I'm back to the beginning. Yippee! So let's just trim those little bits off here. I have actually done the hem on these. Lovely. Superb. Let's just slip that there. So when you are edge stitching or wanting to put a stitch in the middle of a seam, as I do on this, yes, I have got the right side. I was awful thinking I'd got the wrong side then. But when you're wanting to put a seam in the middle here of a seam to hold the elastic down, you're going to pull the elastic and sew it. You need to extend the edge of your edge stitching foot, and this is the most fantastic tool. It's actually designed for quilting. It's to get your lines of your quilting lined up, but it works exactly the same. Now, as I've said, my machine has these like deep feet here, and the extension arm slides through the back. Now, I am pretty certain this is a feature that the majority of machines have. There we go. And it slides through, and I can make it any width I want. So I'm going to slip it onto my machine and just pull you up so you can see what I had it in the perfect position before, where you could actually see. Here you go. You can see the plate. Zoom in. You go. So I'm going to pop the foot on from behind. It goes into here, like so. And you can see here. Oh, you can't see it, but it's just there. Here it is. and it does move backwards and forwards. I actually have them that come out the other side, but I don't want it to come out the other side. I want it to come out this side, at least I'm pretty certain I do. And I will then slide in my work. Now let me just make certain. I had this at the, there we go. I want it just here. Here's the back. And I want it to be in the line of stitching to fall in the middle of this seam. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to measure my seam. I'm going to find the middle. Accurately, my seam is 4 centimeters deep. So I am going to put this pin in here at the middle. That's better. So I've found the middle of my seam. I've added on this extension tool, and I now have the centre of the foot lined up with the needle or the pin. I've got the edge of the foot there, and there's a little screw here, and I'm going to tighten that, and that will now hold this in place. And as I sew, she says, all being well, I can take the pin out. I'm going to lengthen my stitch, and I'm going to do the first stitch. Please excuse the camera moving. It's actually resting on me. Up, pull that up. It's now going to do the first stitches here, and as I sew, I will need to pull the elastic like so. And I need to keep the edge of the work up to here. Now I'll do the first little bit with you, but I cannot sew with the camera here, so I'm just going to stop and move. Now you can see the foot, and off I go, and I will put you onto time lapse now. And just like that, I'm virtually back at the beginning. And what I now have is secure elastic inside my free range slacks. Now, I'm very tempted to do another couple of lines, but I think this, for this particular, I think if I was doing this again, I might be tempted to split it and not have one in the middle, but to have divided the seam into 3. It might have looked better. But these are my wearable 12 trousers, and I now have my elastic securely inside my trousers, and I'm really pleased with that. I just want to move on to the free range slacks slightly here. There has been some discussion on the lovely Facebook group that we've got going about the amount of ease in the back of the free range slacks, and are they baggy trousers or are they not? So let me first of all show you what my free range slacks look like. Now, I've just done this very quickly because we're having a reveal day, and I don't know if I'm going to reveal this pair, or if I get the other pair made that I want to get made, might reveal those instead. I'm not quite certain. But as you can see, they actually fit me really well. And when I look at the pictures on the pattern sleeve and how on the model to how they fit myself at the back, I think I'm actually doing quite well. So let me just show you. Here's the model. There's the model. It's comparison. And you can see myself going around a little bit there. Now, when I made them last year, I didn't necessarily follow the complete and utter fitting guide to the letter. I think I gave myself too much ease. And I'm just going to put another picture in here now of myself wearing them last year. And then I don't know if I'm going to put 2 pictures in at the same time. Again, myself wearing them this year. And last year they were baggy on me and the crutch was decidedly deeper. But I was carrying some extra weight. Now, I don't like to talk too much about my weight and my own measurements. But this year I have decided I am fitting an exact Soho House 7 size 4. My waist measurement is 26 and my hips are 36.5. Peggy's measurements for waist are 26.5, 37 for hips. making finished measurements 38 at the waist and 40 at the hips. So there is a little bit of ease at both. And I can feel that ease as I'm wearing the trousers. I'm going to put the picture in again here now. So it is very important that you make the size that fits your exact measurements, not the size that it is when it's finished, because that will judge the amount of ease, and the ease will affect the look of the garment when you're wearing them. So I just want to talk to you a little bit about how Peggy will have arrived at the styling of the free range slacks very, very simply. So a trouser block is a block drawn up to a set of specific measurements, and centimetres or inches of ease will have been added at certain points to create the darts here, the dart across the back here. Let's zoom in on this one a little bit more. There's a dart here. That's the one that you would use if you're wanting to reduce the amount of rise, and whether you've got a fuller or a flatter butt. And you've obviously got your grain line here. And so in order to create the fullness in the trousers that Peggy has given us, what she will have done very basically is she'll have drawn some lines straight down from the darts to the bottom. She'll have cut up the pattern and she'll have opened it like so. Look at this, here's one I made earlier. Oh, it's very Blue Peter. For those of you that are not in the UK, Blue Peter is a children's programme where they used to say, and here's one I've prepared earlier when they were making models and things. And in order to create the pattern piece, you backfill this with paper, like so. And that gives you your trouser piece, which is why the piece is wider. Now this is the back. This doesn't account for the side piece at the side or the front with the pockets put in. I do know how that's been cut. I'm not going to go into it now because this is just a very simplified way of describing how she's done it. What Peggy does give you in her instructions, as I have mentioned here once today already, I have them to hand, are the alteration instructions, and here they are. On the booklet, they're on page 8. She's showing you here, item 5 is how to reduce a flat seat or thin thighs, adjusting the rise. You can adjust the crotch length at the front, and you could adjust the front rise without adjusting the thighs. Now those are just some of the basic alterations that she has given you, and she is advising you how to do them. They're all very, very clear. Well, there you go. I do hope that the ideas and suggestions I've made for fitting your Soho House 7 garments help. I have shown you my free range slacks. I was extremely lucky. I was expecting to make some alterations on that pair of free range slacks, but I did follow the measurements to the letter, and I'm just going to talk a little bit about the ease. Hold on. So if I'm reading the back of the pattern, so I mentioned that my waist is 26 and the waist for their size 4 is 26.5. The hip for the size 4 is 37 and my hip is 36 and a half, somewhere between the two, depending on how much I've drunk during the day, I think. Now, the waist finish measurement is 38. So that's allowing for the sides to be straightened and then get pulled in. The hip difference is a lot different. The ease at the hip is only 3 inches. Now that would be approximately 7.5 centimetres. So do check the measurements, but I would urge you to not look necessarily at the finished measurements. Look at your measurements and make the garment fit you. Only move on to looking at the finished measurements if you want to check how much ease that you're going to get. Let's pick another one, for example. Let's go to 14. So 14, the waist is 33 and the finished waist is 45. That's allowing for it to be brought in. The hips at a 14 are 44, but the finished hip is 47. So she's asking for a more fitted round the hips. I do really hope that what I've suggested to you today does help. and I look forward to seeing your garments when we do our reveal day on the 7th of July. I want to thank every single one of you for joining with this challenge. It's meant to be fun, getting us to make something we might not already have thought about, getting us to use a bit of fabric. Sew House 7 have got a great big range of patterns that you could make up, and believe me, I've got quite a few on my to-do list for this summer. I've just added another skyline tee, and I've added another Naya, sorry, Tammy Handmade Naya t-shirt to my makes list, but I've also trying to add in the Oxbow pants, which is the new pattern from Sew House 7. If I get the chance, I'll just put a little picture in there. It looks absolutely lovely. It's a pair of jeans. So for now, thank you so very much for joining. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, it would be lovely to have you. There's a little reminder here, just click on the little subscribe button, and then if you want to hit the bell, you'll get a notification as and when I release new videos. Don't forget to like and give me a comment, and Mandy, Sam and I will see you again on the 27th of June, when Mandy is going to do another review of the patterns that we are making, and we cannot wait to see you reveal your garments with the hashtag Sew7 together over on Instagram on the 7th of July. And we have a very special video coming out for you that day, which Sam has very kindly offered to do for us. So for now, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so very much for joining in. See you all soon. Bye bye.